Kính chào tất cả quý cô chú và anh chị em đang xem bản tin trên kênh tin tức tổng hợp. Kính chúc quý vị thật nhiều sức khỏe, hạnh phúc và bình an. Và để trở lại chương trình của ngày hôm nay, xin mời quý vị theo dõi những bản tin sau đây.
Hello, everybody. Wow. Hello, everybody. Thank you. And I'll tell you, we're landing, and there are thousands of people along the runways, right? And I said, why aren't they here? Sir, we couldn't let them in. Why not? Let's let them in. Oh, these people. And then they put in a floor. This is for Manchester, because you know about flooring. They put in a floor that's like an ice skating rink. So we're going to tiptoe around. How are you, everybody? We love you. We love you. Great people. Manchester, we had some good memories in Manchester, right? 2016, but this is going to be, we are right now in the most important election in our history. But I'm thrilled to be back in the Granite State with the true hard-working American patriots. Last night, it was my great honor to accept the Republican nomination for President of the United States. win. We're going to win. Does anybody have any doubt? Does anybody? You know, it's very interesting. Last night we had an incredible time, and I don't know if you know, it's driving the fake news crazy. They're back there. But the poll numbers have swung. If you go back 6 months before the plague flew in from China, the horrible plague, this election was over. And then I had to go back to work. Then I went back to work, and we've done an incredible job in every aspect of running government, but I also had to start campaigning a little bit again, and I did. And today it was announced that Joe Biden is coming out of the basement. Because the poll numbers have totally swung. It totally swung.
Neurologists are stunned. They've confirmed that ear ringing is shrinking your brain.
And they've swung like nobody's ever seen him swing before, and it was rapid. It was a rapid swing. Because they all admit that we're doing a great job. There's not too many presidents that have done a job like we've done, including keeping you out of wars, bringing you home from the endless wars. But they've swung. But here's what I don't get. Sleepy Joe's coming out, he said, in 10 days. That's a long 10 days. 10 days. That's like an eternity in Trumpville. 10 days. I view 10 days as like an eternity, okay? So he decided he's coming out, and he's going to be out in 10 days. That's a long time. That's a big percentage of the remaining time. That's all right. He's much better off where he is. I think we love Melania, we do. She did a great job, right? She did a great job. She went up on Tuesday night, did an incredible job. Last night was exciting, wasn't it? Last night was exciting. And how about those stories from friends of mine, right? How about those stories? Was that just compelling and incredible television, but really that was an exciting, a really good quality convention. Really good. So many people. You saw some tragic situations, some really great endorsements. You saw everything. If you, how about the endorsement of Herschel Walker? When you watched that, that was from the heart. That was from the heart. Dana White today. I just saw it today because last night I was looking at the speech a little bit, you know. We had a wonderful turnout last night. What I didn't like, you saw this, right, when it was over? You saw when it was over? The thugs outside, because the Democratic mayor of Washington, D.C., it's another Democrat that's not believing in law and order. And, you know, we give Washington, D.C. a lot of money to run it, but they don't do a good job of running it. The mayor, she doesn't run anything. And these incredible people from all over the country, all over the world that were there last night, they walked out to a bunch of thugs. And that wasn't, remember this, that wasn't friendly protesters. They were thugs. They were thugs. And the D.C. police are good, but the mayor gave bad instructions last night that should have never been allowed to happen. When a senator like Rand Paul walks out, and thank God we had some good police around him, and they took tremendous abuse. And Rand Paul was in big trouble last night. He's a good guy, he's a friend of mine. And that shouldn't happen to anybody. But here's a U.S. senator walking outside, and those 4 policemen should be brought over to the White House, and we ought to give them a medal of some kind, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I told that to Rand today. And the mayor should be ashamed of herself for that kind of a display of incompetence. because that's what's happening in Portland, and that's what's happening all over where you have Democrat-run cities. Just take a look. And we're looking at the whole situation in D.C., and tonight they have a lot of people gathering. Let's see how that works out. They have to be able to manage their affairs. They get a lot of money. She's always looking for money. Could we have more money? What are you going to waste it on? I mean, spend it on. What are you going to waste it on, Mayor? And then our people walk out, and these are people from all over the world. They walk, including Congress, by the way. They walk out, and they get accosted. They get abused. They get spit on. It's a disgrace. And our country's going to change. We're not going to allow that to happen. You know, we're not supposed to be. We're not supposed to be involved unless we're invited in by the people that run. These are all Democrat cities, just so you understand, including D.C. So we're not supposed to go in unless we call it an insurrection. But that's a big statement. It's a big statement. No reason for it. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to have to look at it. Mark Meadows is here. We're going to have to look at it because we're not going to let that happen to people that go to the White House to celebrate our country. And a weak guy named Joe Biden, and he's weak. He's weak as hell. A weak guy like Joe Biden didn't even bring law and order up as a subject for discussion in the entire Democrat National Convention. Now they're all of a sudden, now they realize because they've gone down like a rock in water. They've gone down in the polls, and now all of a sudden they're talking, oh, well, we have to talk about crime. Number one, they have no, look at what happened to New York. Look at what's going on in Chicago. All Democrats, all radical left Democrats. Look at what's going on in the great state of Wisconsin. Now, I will tell you, 2 days ago, we sent in the National Guard. That was the end of that problem. Look at Portland. We want to send in the National Guard. We send in Homeland Security just to protect a couple of our buildings, including a courthouse. Can you believe it? We send in because they can't protect it. So they did a very effective job. We could take care of Portland in 45 minutes. 45 minutes. If that governor, if that mayor would call and say, please send in the National Guard, just like hey, we did it in Minneapolis. Remember that? The place was going to burn down another few days. We sent in the National Guard. It was over within an hour.
Neurologists are shocked. They have found that tinnitus wipes your memory in less than 3 years.
And they ought to get smart, and that's what they ought to do. So now they're talking about, well, you know, we want to, they were taught, what do they call it? A friendly protest, right? Remember the idiot from CNN? He's standing there. This is a friendly protest. And behind him, over his shoulders, the entire city is burning down. 67 days from now, we're going to win the great state of New Hampshire. We have to. And we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. Within my first term in office, we've secured America's borders, brought back our manufacturing jobs, rebuilt the United States military. It was a mess. It was a depleted mess. Wiped out the ISIS caliphate, killed our terrorist enemies, kept America out of foolish, stupid, ridiculous foreign wars. Achieved American energy independence. And you see the price of your gasoline when you go fill it up. Oh boy, that's a nice price. It's half what it was. And we built the single greatest economy in the history of the world, and that includes China, which was having a very, very bad year. And then the plague came in from China. We had to close it up. We saved millions of lives. And now we're opening it, and we're setting records. We're setting records. Wait till you see the numbers just before the election. They'll be released. And this is despite the fact that the Democrats are holding back Michigan, North Carolina. You take a look, Pennsylvania. They want to keep them. By the way, on November 4th, regardless, they'll be opening them up. November 4th. Because they think that hurts the economy. And that'll hurt me, but our numbers are going to be great. We're going to have a great third quarter. We're going to have an unbelievable next year, unless somebody stupid gets elected and raises your taxes. This November, each of you will vote in truly the most important election in the history of our country. I used to say it about 2016. This is now at a new level. Joe Biden is the puppet of the radical left movement that seeks to obliterate and destroy everything that you hold dear, including your Second Amendment, which will have no chance. Your vote will decide whether we save the American dream or whether we allow Biden to eliminate your jobs. And by the way, it's not Biden. It's not Biden. It's his masters. They tell him what to do, his masters. They want to erase your borders, confiscate your guns, appoint radical left judges and prosecutors, tear down our history, demolish your suburbs. You saw what I did. I ended the rule. You're not going to have low-income housing built in your suburbs anymore. But nobody writes that because the fake news doesn't want to write that. But everyone knows. Unless our friends in the suburbs have gotten a lot dumber than they used to be, they know that. They want to destroy your suburbs, indoctrinate our children, defund the police, and try everything in the book to turn our cities so that they look more like Portland, Oregon, than what we're used to looking at. Never forget, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you. It's true, too. Today's Democrat Party is filled with hate. Just look at Joe Biden's supporters on the streets screaming and shouting at bystanders with unhinged, manic rage, right? You see it? It's crazy. It's crazy. You had to see last night in Washington. It was a disgrace. It was a disgrace that these people are representing the United States of America. It was a disgrace. Protesters. You know what I say? Protesters, your ass. I don't talk about my ass. They're not protesters. Those aren't those are anarchists. They're agitators. They're rioters. They're looters. They're not. You know, you say that, and some of the people, not all of them, but some of the people back there, how dare you? These are friendly protesters, right? Friendly protesters. They're just looking for trouble. Has nothing to do with George Floyd, has nothing to do with anything. They don't even know who George Floyd is. Okay? They don't know who George Floyd. They have no idea. If you ask them, who's George Floyd, they couldn't even tell you. These are just bad people, troublemakers, and they shouldn't be representing our country at important events. And we've got to stop it. Democrats have no complaint about the rioters and the vandals marauding through our cities or mass unruly demonstrations, but they don't believe law-abiding citizens can go to a church together. You can't go to church anymore. You know how many churches are closed in this country? Because of the Democrats. You can go out and you can have thousands of people marauding through the streets, threatening other people, beyond threatening, kicking them in the face, doing what they've done. You've seen it. And they would have done that to Senator Rand Paul last night. He'd either be in very bad shape or dead, and that would include his wife if those policemen didn't happen to be there. And they took some big beating. And the reason they didn't fight back too much, they don't want to lose their pension, they don't want to lose their job, because we've become so politically correct, everybody's afraid to do anything now. But they did a good job.
Over the past 6 months, we have been investigating as well as exposing the truth behind all of these food processing plants that have.
The puppet Biden, who's just controlled so strongly, wants you to cancel weddings, funerals, and school, but has no problem with thousands of so-called peaceful protesters cramming into your streets, mugging people, hurting people, robbing stores, looting stores, burning down storefronts. The radical left will do anything to get power. They smeared Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and they are distressed. Did you ever see anything like that? Justice Kavanaugh. People forget. You know, time goes by. They forget. We don't forget. I don't forget. They're destroying the livelihoods of innocent people. And if Biden wins, which I honestly can't believe can happen, I will have lost to a low IQ individual. I don't want that. I don't want it. Sleepy Joe, I don't want it. But the agitators will go from rioting in the streets to running the halls of government. Can you believe it? The levers, they call it the levers of government. The top 10 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrats and have been for decades. Now they're trying to impose those policies across the entire country. No one will be safe in Biden's America. I can't even call it Biden's America. Guy doesn't know he's alive. He's going to be out in 10 days. He's going to start 10 days. 10 days. I mean, I gave a big speech last night. I said, what am I doing tomorrow night? You're going to New Hampshire. But, sir, we can cancel New Hampshire because, you know, you had a big night. We can I said, are you crazy? I don't have the courage to cancel New Hampshire. I got to win New Hampshire, and I love the people, and you've been very good to me. Been very good to me. You've been very good to me. So New Hampshire was the first state I won, right? Remember, I came in. I was very excited. That was an exciting evening. That was an exciting race. But we don't talk about that anymore. We have to talk about the future. We don't talk about it. That was great. It was important. We've done more than any administration in its first 3.5 years in the history of our country. And that's despite phony witch hunts, phony investigations, a phony impeachment based on a phone call that was absolutely perfect. That's despite a pandemic that was probably sent in by China. Who the hell knows how it got here, and all over the world. Because China does not want to see me win, I can tell you that. We're not happy with China. I'll tell you what, if Biden got in, China would own the United States very quickly. They'd own it. If the Democrat Party wants to stand with anarchists, criminals, rioters, looters, and flag burners, That's up to them. The Republican Party and you, I can see you. Is there anybody in this place that enjoys burning the American flag? Is there anybody? Please quietly raise your hand. Be careful, could be very dangerous. The Republican Party will remain the voice of the patriotic heroes who keep America safe and our law enforcement. Right? We are all that stand between the American people and the left-wing mob. If you want to save democracy from the mob, then you must vote to defeat an extremely poor candidate. Look, I believe I have the honor of running against the worst candidate ever put up by the Democratic Party. The worst. How do you get worse? I believe he's the worst candidate, the slowest candidate, and I mean in prime time he was the slowest candidate, which was a long time ago, prime time. You know what I don't like, though? They say he's like 78, 79, 78, I guess, right? I know people that are 85, that are 88, 92. Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, is 92 years old. He's the sharpest guy you'll ever meet. There's nothing. 78 is okay. But that's a bad 78, not a good 78. 78's okay, but he shouldn't say that. You know, they shouldn't say it. The press, they say he's too old. He's not too old. He's not too old. But 78 is okay. But I know people in their 90s that are 100% sharp and good physically, actually good physically. You want debate? So do I. I want debate still. I want debate still. Tonight, we're honored to be joined by New Hampshire House Republican leader Dick Hinch. Where's Dick? And I think your great governor is here. Where is the governor? Where's our governor? Hi, Dick. Good job. Do we like Dick? Yes. Where's our governor? He's here. He just met me. I told him go back. And we don't have same-day voting anymore. We don't have same-day. What a joke that was last time. Remember? Buses poured up from Massachusetts with a lot of people that weren't going to vote for Trump. And they poured up. Thousands and thousands of people came in on Election Day. And then you had a senator running on the Republican Party who wasn't exactly the greatest for us. But we have done so well here, and we're going to have a big win. And I'm hearing we're going to have a great win. So I want to thank your governor. Also with us are state representatives Al Baldessaro and Fred Doucette. Where are you? Hi, Al. I know these guys so well. Hey, Al, have I taken care of the vets better than you even thought? This guy, I met him. He's a big vet. He wanted the vets. He didn't care about anything else but the vets. Honestly, he couldn't have cared less about anybody here except the vets. But I did a good job, right? We did a good job for the vets. Very importantly, very, U.S. Senate candidate Corky Messner. Good, Corky. I hear you're doing well. Good, Corky. Get him. We need Corky. Get him. I hear you're doing well, Corky. Congressional candidate Matt Mowers. Matt. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Great people. A friend of mine for a long time, he said right from the beginning, you're going to win this state, sir. We met him at the primaries. Chairman of New Hampshire Republican Party, Stephen Stepanak. Stephen. Hi, Steve. Great, Steve. Co-chairman of my New Hampshire campaign, Lou Gargiulo. Where's Lou? Lou Gargiulo. Hi, Lou. How am I doing? Are we winning, Lou? Lou, are we winning? Thank you. He said yes. If he said no, he's out of here. And a friend of mine and a friend of this state, he loves this state, And he is a smart cookie. He's so good. I love him on television. He's no games, just looks. He gives it the.
Duyệt video.
A fantastic job.
Quý vị vừa xem xong phần 1 của video. Xin mời xem tiếp phần 2 và phần 3. Tại vì cái video này của Tổng thống Donald Trump nói cũng hơi dài, khoảng 1 tiếng 30 phút, cho nên mình chia làm 3 phần. Cảm ơn quý vị đã quan tâm theo dõi. Xin kính chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại trong những video tiếp theo.